Alright, so today we're going to learn how to do this video game rescore, and what you're doing is basically taking a video game and or a clip of a video game and putting a whole new score, a whole new sound effect tracks. You're in fact muting what's on there already, and you're creating your own. And what you're going to learn in this is a lot of sound editing skills, how to add effect to sounds, how to place them exactly where you need them, and how to re-export the film going from there. So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to show you how to edit the sound clip, the video clip of the video game playing, just so that you don't have to do the whole clip, because sometimes when you download a clip from YouTube and it's 8 minutes of someone playing a video game, you don't want to do that length of a clip. So maybe 30 to 60 seconds worth is good enough. So I'm going to open up one in QuickTime just by double clicking the file that I downloaded, and here is one. But it's much too long, and this one is sorry, I have my counter. It looks yeah, about 10 minutes there, so way too long for me to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the edit menu and say trim, and that brings up these yellow markers here, and that allows me to begin somewhere. I'm just going to start somewhere near the beginning. There, Mario's jumping. I'm going to set the end point somewhere there and say trim. So now I have 34 seconds worth, and I just need to go to File and save this again in your folder, and we'll call this Mario Short. Alright, so now in GarageBand, once you have that loaded up, you can click on New Project and start a movie type of project. There's a bunch of different types you can try, but click on Movie and save it, perhaps in your folder. So mine is on the desktop here. We're going to call this Rescore Project with my name or something. And basically, now that you have this file, you can now drop in your movie file, so the one that we just trimmed in QuickTime. So what you're going to do is, if you have one of those iMacs with the thin keyboards, you're going to hit Command F3, and if you have a thicker keyboard, hit F11. Once you do that, you're going to see your desktop, and then you go into your folder and find the one that you just trimmed, that video clip you just trimmed. Hit F and click and hold on it. Hit F11 or Command F3 again, and just drop it right here in the movie track. And now GarageBand's going to do some calculation and converting here. It's going to create some thumbnails. And now the movie is in here, and we just have to rescore it now. So this first track is the movie track, and the second track is its sound. So if you go on this mute button, just click on that, and because you don't want the original sound, you want to rescore this. If you click on this window here in the movie track, you can actually watch the movie. So if I hit my space bar now, you can see what you're about to do. Basically, what you're going to do now is start tracking different sounds. In this movie that we have Mario jumping. We've got some like lava bubbling and stuff. He hits a block, and what else? More jumping. Oh, and he slides on this wall. So there's a few different sounds we can add, and of course we want to add some music in the background. So what you have to understand about GarageBand is that there's different panes or different windows and areas where you can do stuff. So you can shut them to have more space. So what we're going to do is click on this scissors here, and by clicking on it, we'll actually bring this whole bottom half of the window down so that we can kind of see more of the tracks and stuff. And the same thing can happen over here. If you hit the button, like an I button on the bottom right here, you can close that pane, but we kind of need that one for later. So the first thing we're going to do is add another track. So on the plus button on the bottom left there, I click on that, and I can add a software instrument, a real instrument, or electric guitar. I'm going to add a real instrument. Double click on that, And I just want to make sure that my voice is being picked up by my microphone, and it is. You can see that over here. If I tap, you can see the audio level going up there. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to record. Doesn't matter where it is in the movie right now, because we're going to move that around and stuff. So we're going to record a jumping sound, and maybe it sounds like this. Let me hit record. Whee! Okay, so, and if once I hit space to stop, space bar to play again, there it is. But it's not really Mario-like. So I'm going to go, and in the right-hand side of this window, I'm going to click on Edit over here. And now I can add different effects. So the one effect I want to do is click in here and add a vocal transformer. And this will allow me to change my voice. And so I'm going to go into the default settings and just pick one called Chipmunk. And I'm going to rewind here and see what this sounds like. Now that's a little bit more, let's say, Mario-like. Anyway, so now that we have that, I'm going to make sure I go in the control menu and unclick Snap to Grid so I can move my needle exactly where I want it. And I'm going to go and find the first jump that he makes. There it is. I put my needle about where it starts. And actually, I'm just going to trim the edges here by moving in the sound effect. And I'm going to put it at the first jump. And I'm going to scroll my needle again. There he goes and jumps again. And so the way I'm going to duplicate that sound, rather than having to re-record it all the time, is I'm going to hit Option and click in the center of this and just slide it over. And that creates like another copy. And he jumps pretty fast there again. Option, click over and slide. So if I go back to the beginning, I've got, okay, and let's just add a few more in just for this. Well, how about I'll see you on the other side. I'm just going to hit pause on my recording here and add a bunch more jumps. Okay, so now that I have more jumps, here's what it kind of looks like. All right, so you get the drift there. I can also play with the track volume here on the upper left there and just bring it down a bit. But that'll become more important later when we add more tracks. That's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to add another track, another real instrument. And what I'm looking for now is a sound for when he hits the box, the question mark box here, and it comes up with a flower. So the way I'm going to find a sound, I could go to freesound.org or somewhere on the internet where they have free sound clips, but I'm going to go on GarageBand by looking at the sound effects that they ship with GarageBand. And so I'm going to go to the bottom right and look at the media browser or the loop browser by clicking on this eyeball and making sure that I have this icon that's selected. It's the podcasting icon, in fact, but it looks like a letter I or a person with a bunch of weird sound waves going around them. Go to sound effects, machines maybe. Let's do that. A modern electronic sound. So if I put that where he hits it, not bad. I could probably stand to push it a little bit more. Good. And next I want one for when he brushes against the wall over here. Like if I press play here, you can see that he kind of brushes against the wall there. So I've found a sound that I already like, and that's in the sound effects Foley and walkie-talk garble. I don't want all that. You're going to be wondering, well, why does he want all that? I don't. I'm just going to drop it in. Same track, actually, as the is the other box sound. Now if I rewind here, so you see what I did is I took the walkie-talkie sound and I just shrank it to what I needed. So now that I have that, you want to actually add in the background voice sounds, because that's really what is going to make or break this. So I'm going to go and find a sound that I found here in Bubble again, in Foley, called Bubbles. And that's going to be our lava bubbling. And I'm just going to drop it down in a new track here, and it's going to create a new track automatically. So that's another way you can create a track, is just by automatically dropping a new sound effect in there. And if I move my mouse to the upper right hand side of this bubbling, I can click and drag that out and loop that sound to the end of the video. So far, if I go back to the beginning and press play, good. So the sliding effect was a little bit soft. Let me just, I brought that up a bit, but I think the bubbling could probably be brought down a little bit loud. Okay, and last but not least, I need some sort of music. So instead of being in this podcasting sound effects area, I'm just going to go to, actually, no, sorry, I need to stay in the sound in there, and I need to go to jingles. And I'm going to find one, I think an urban that I liked. Maybe not. Might have been in World. Yes, World. Here we'll go with Havana. Bring that into its own track. I'm going to go over here and move my needle at the end there, because it's much longer than I need, and put the needle where I want. Go to the edit menu and say split, and now I'm just going to delete the last half of that track. All right. And so I think that the sliding noise probably could still be a little louder. Good. So, and the bubbling could probably go a little softer, but now you get the drift. So what you're going to do is try to find realistic sounds, or sounds that you can kind of convey what's going on, and edit them, change the effects. Remember, that's all in the I button over here in the edit pane, and you can add a whole bunch of effects. There's a whole slew of things that GarageBand ships with, but have fun with it, but make something that really is communicating the story here, but in an audible way. Alright, so the last thing you need to know about your project is how to export it. So you're going to go to the share menu in GarageBand here, export movie to disk. And I think iPod setting is good. It'll be big enough in terms of window size, but it still makes a small enough file size for easy transferring. So once you select that, just hit export, and you want to find your folder. Mine again was on the desktop, and rename or call your final movie something that has your name in it, so that I can recognize it, and make sure I get it. That's it.